that's my general thought around the game last night. And that could be the video in itself. Look, it's my own fault that I feel the way that I feel. A lot of people, Burnley fans, either some got really deluded, like myself, because I find it more enjoyable that way. Football is meant to be about believing in the incredible, believing in something crazy could happen. Because without that, then it's kind of all boring, right? So I got fully behind the delusion. Listened to times like these for the last 24 hours before the game. Really into it. And I truly believe that last night would have been the true beginning of a proper charge. And everything came together. And I can't really blame the performance last night, in previous games. It kind of felt similar to the games against Palace, games against West Ham, where they were there for the taking. They weren't playing the best team. Many of the best players were injured. They were hoping just to hit us on a break or for a mistake to happen. And it didn't happen in that particular way where we made a real mistake. I mean, there's some poor defending for a set piece, but the man of the free kick itself was definitely one to be questioned. But for the entire game itself, we were the main team in it. But Wolves, as they typically set out, even with their best team, is to hit you on a break. And that was their game plan. And that's basically how the game went. And look, a draw is not enough. For me, it was purely do or die last night. And we've kind of cocked the gun. But we're not dead yet. But, we had to win last night. And as a person that is completely deluded, Everton is it. We've got to beat Everton. We have to beat Everton if we have any chance of staying up. Now, I've always said as well that I do care, but if we do go down, I want to go down with a fight. I want to go down with some sort of momentum, some pride going into next season. You don't want to go down with a whimper. That's disastrous in so many different ways. I want to have some hope into the final few games that maybe something could happen. Maybe we could get a freak result at United away and we could be only a point or so away from staying up. Maybe that's too much to ask for. Maybe it's too little too late. But at least that can kind of give me some hope that, look, the fight was there, but, it's too little too late. But at least we showed up in the end, right? And we can take that into next season, have a bit of positivity, think, okay, well, poor season, of course, we still went down, but at least we got these players here that we can work with for next year. I mean, kind of know what works and know what doesn't work, right? And we're kind of getting there now. So, yeah, I'm trying to look at this in the most positive way, but in terms of the game itself, again, started incredibly well on the front foot for the first 15, 20 minutes. Wolves weren't offering anything really at all. And then we scored of a fantastic goal, beautiful crossing by O'Shea. And a remarkable finish by Brun Lawson. That is incredibly tough to do, to keep it so hard and low on the volley in that manner is remarkable technique. Truly, like if one of the top players scores the exact same goal next week, then it'd be repeated non-stop on social media. If Erling Haaland scores a goal next week, it'd be all over the place. Saka does that all over the place. So that's a great finish and a remarkable piece of technique. From a player that I'm really happy to see get his flowers this season. Really happy to see Brun Lawson get more time. I don't think he had the best game. It was kind of a weird one for him. I think in the first half he had a few kind of touches that was a bit heavy here or there, but I'm happy that he got that moment. But the lineup was what I would have wanted. It was kind of interesting to see Lyle Foster at like a right winger in that game. Odegaard down the middle, Brun Lawson left hand side, Fofana up top. I want to say man of the match wise, I'd probably say it's probably Berg. I think Berg was fantastic across the entire game. I don't think he's been given a lot of credit because his standard is always a 7 for me. Like, him being good doesn't stand out too much because he's always good for me. But I think last night he was even better than good. I think that was an 8 or 9 performance for me. I think it was really good the entire game. In the second half, it did turn into a bit of almost like a throwback to kind of old Sean Dyche era. Charlie Taylor was involved a lot. His crosses weren't particularly the best at all times. I think a good chunk were blocked, but it kind of turned into Charlie Taylor becoming the main outlet in our attacks. especially for large periods of the game anyway. So that was kind of strange to look back on that. A lot of attacks kind of always went down at one side. Trying to think of some positivity for the game. I mean, again, we controlled the game like how we expected to, but that kind of is how Wolves set out anyway. They wanted to hit us on the break, and they took advantage, and they should have maybe won as well. I mean, let's not forget the Aït-Nouri chance against Muric. Incredible save. I mean, I know it's hit straight at him, but Christ, I mean, you gotta try and make yourself look big, make the attacker make the decision for you, and not you making it for them. And he gave him a question, and fortunately, he didn't blast it into either corner and straight out of his chest. So I guess we're lucky for that. But Muric for the entire game distribution, especially mainly first half as well. I think the second half you didn't notice it too much, but first half distribution of Muric was again world class. I think that's world class. His distribution is at a world class level. I don't think that could be debated personally. I think it's actually remarkable. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about the free kick, and right, it's not a free kick. It's not. I was watching a game. As soon as I saw it, it's like, he didn't even touch him. He didn't even graze him. I don't think he dived. People say, oh, he's a dive, he's a cheat. I don't think he's a cheat. I think you're sprinting, you turn back at sharp speed, and his momentum gave away. He just lost balance. I don't think he did it on purpose. I just think he just lost balance, and the referee for some reason just felt like that was a free kick, and of course we concede off the back of that, and it adds another layer of like another refereeing decision that goes against us. However, I would say this: people saying, "Oh, Premier League's corrupt, or Premier League this and that, Premier League officials are awful." That same thing would probably happen in Championship too. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not act like EFL officials are also prime and perfect too. Now they're a lot more. You can deal with it more because you can at least understand it's more of a human mistake, because in this Premier League you got VAR, so you got 2-3 different eyes looking at one incident, so it makes it a lot harder to stomach. That incident there, VAR can't get involved, it's just a referee, and like that same thing will probably happen in Championship 2. So that's my thoughts on that. And again, we did enough to win that game. A lot of chances, especially in the second half, early part of it, a lot of great chances. Odobert from the corner, I believe, just literally smashed it, and I just get a bounce, a flick, a deflection. But Jose Sarr gets a hand onto it, which is such a shame. We made so many good chances in that game. Vitinha in the first half on his left foot. He's a weird player, Vitinha, because I really like him because of his work ethic. But in terms of the final third, you could tell there's that little gap there. But hey, maybe in time that can get better and better. I believe it was him that created a cutback in the second half that led to the chance, I believe, by Brun Larsen. Again, it's so unlucky. So unlucky that Brun Larsen did not score that second from the cutback. Like, in any other circumstance, it would just go underneath the keeper's leg. So, it's so unfortunate, man. But last night had to be the win. It had to, and it wasn't. And, we got Everton away up next, and we all know how Sean Dyche will do against us. Set pieces, I can't wait to see that and how that works out. Performances, kind of went against us. Forest won, Everton got a result. Luton played tonight against Arsenal. They should ideally not get a result, but then they got Bournemouth at home next. We've got to beat Everton. The only hope that I now have, really, that we should stay up is Everton gets a point deduction again, which I think we should hear sometime this week about that point deduction, if it is 3 points or 5 points, or if any at all, and if we beat them this weekend. That is kind of it now. And if we don't beat them, get a draw, fine. Try to go into the end of the year with some decent little performances, win maybe a game or two, and have some pride into the end of the year. I want to see Odobert do well. I want to hope to see Koleosho back. I want to see some positivity, and that's kind of all I'm hoping for now. But if we beat Everton, maybe it's not done. Hey, football's all about being deluded. Last night was a complete sucker punch. Deflated, I think, is a word that a lot of people will feel, and it does feel that way. So, again, if we want to stay up, we have to beat teams around us. We've got to beat teams that's playing for nothing, realistically. Wolves are really kind of playing for nothing right now. We've got to beat them. They were there for the taking, just like West Ham was and just like Palace was. They were there for the taking. They didn't even have the best team. Not even 4 or 5 players are missing. We have to beat them. And I can't even blame the performance. The one thing I will say, though, that annoyed me, that's a negative, really. I don't get why we didn't make subs a lot sooner. I don't know what company was really thinking in that. I don't know why it took him so long to bring on Manuel Benson. I don't want to just say Manuel Benson is the be and end all, and he did make a great chance for J-Rod that he was narrowly close to heading the ball back in there, narrowly close to getting his head onto it, and that could have been it. And that's the thing that he has. He has a beautiful, curler inside cross that is always threatening, because if no one gets onto it, maybe he can just fall into the back of the net in similar way to Sunderland away or Borough at home. That's that same thing. He's got that ability. I just don't get why it took till, I think he played 6 minutes, 5 minutes to get on. I don't get why it took him so long to do that. I don't get why it took him so long to take off Lyle Foster, who I believe in that second half wasn't as effective on the right-hand side. I think it was clear by the 60th minute that something had to change. Something had to change in that game, surely. So I just feel like in a game that we had to win, I don't get why we just didn't make more changes sooner. I don't get that at all. I felt like Cullen was alright, but I think that he got a bit tired in that game, especially near the end. But I felt like he was fine. But O'Shea, Esteve, I think Esteve as well. Actually, I'm gonna give a shout out to him. I think he deserves a man of the match shout as well. Almost. I still think Berg, is my main, but Esteve, I felt like I had a very good game. A very good game, actually. Fofana was a little bit off at times. He had one or two great moments. Remember in the second half, he had a really good run into the right-hand side of Bob Low's stand. And just 1-2 touches and created a move all by himself. But then at other times, his first touch was a little bit off. But look, you don't expect players to be completely perfect. And yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the game. I can't blame the lads. It was a good performance. But we've got to win these games, and it didn't happen, right? So, Everton away up next. Tell me down below your thoughts. But it just kind of feels gutting, innit? Because it felt like something could have happened. And are we delaying the inevitable? Most likely. But hey, I'm gonna still watch that game against Everton, fully believing that miracles could happen. So get behind the boys. Upper clouds.